Hello, Aru.
Hello,
Okay. How are you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Thank you for joining with us. So for everyone we don't know you, can you please introduce yourself? And I mean, why did we invite you today? It's because you did 42 Adelaide, right?
Yeah. So would you like me to do it in Thai or
Whatever you're most comfortable with, but for sure, I'm sure our listener would prefer Thai, but like up to you.
okay. I prefer I'll go with Thai, it's fine. เอ่อสวัสดีค่ะทุกคนดิฉันอรูจาก Australian Adelaide 42 Precinct so ได้รับคิดให้มาแชร์ประสบการณ์42 Boot Camp and also like want to share special thanks to Mr. Amal for inviting me to be able to share my experience and yeah and I'm really sorry about like all the late emails replies. I had a very crazy time. I just graduated. um อรูไม่ได้พูดภาษาไทยมา3 ปีแล้วต้องขอโทษนะที่สามารถพูดภาษาไทยแบบงูๆปลาๆ so please don't hold it against me. I'm pretty bad at Thai. And um so yeah, a little bit of short background about me like so สำหรับประวัติอรูอรูเกิดและต่อเรียนที่ Thailand like my whole life so เรียนที่สระบุรี so I lived in Salisbury my whole life so in St. John Mary และทำ high school ที่ Harrow International School and then I decided to study my bachelor's BBA ทำที่ ABAC International Business and Marketing in ABAC and thenต่อ masters ที่ Australia ทำ Food and Agriculture Business so just completed it and yeah so currently ทำงานที่การตลาดที่ marketing agency in Australia and รียน42 Adelaide studying in 42 Adelaide alongside so which is very fun to do the 42 coding and working full time like ไม่มี stress เลยสนุกมากค่ะ so that's a little bit about me.
Thank you. I can sense an ounce of sarcasm. So feel free to ask your question. We can start answering right away. And you can raise your hand if you want to ask question. And before we get anything, can you just in your own like personal point of view, what did you think about the piscine? How did you experience it? Anything you want to share about this experience? What makes it so special for you?
That's a good question. So for me, like, I mean, maybe I can explain with like why I decided to join first.
Yeah.
I think that would be a bit like.
Yeah.
So, should I say? Okay, fine. I'll do it back. Give me a second. Okay. So, ทุกคนไม่มีคิดที่ sorry. Haven't spoken Thai for 3 years. Got a bit of a.
It's okay. You can speak English. You can speak English ได้ค่ะพูดภาษาไทยก็ได้พูดภาษาอังกฤษก็ได้ค่ะไม่เป็นไร
So I mean I've always loved coding and I wanted to รียน coding from like ever since ABAC but like I took a few Python classes in ABAC but it was I was ขี้เกียจเรียน because it's very hard to be motivated by yourself to do it and all those things so I was just like kept on pushing it until I came to Australia and then I saw 42 Adelaide and I was like should I go for it why is it free like I was a bit skeptical but then I did the boot camp and I was like this is so hard but then I mean initially like the first 2 weeks like at least for me till CO2 it was the hardest part because I have zeroไม่มี background T coding at all so till CO2 it was impossible and so I was like struggling till CO2 and similar to you guys we had a mixed lockdown and at the school so that was very hard because you don't know anyone there and you're not doing it like maybe you're doing with your friends but for me I did by myself so you have to talk to people, get to make friends and those kind of things. So that was pretty stressful. But then once I finished CO2, so easy. No, like it's so easy after you finish CO2. Like believe me, CO2 is like the hardest part you'll get to. CO4 also, but after that's not too bad yet.
That's good insights. Mai, you can interrupt me if there are questions.
โอเคค่ะ
honestly, I don't know.
There's a questions in chat box
Okay.
สัปดาห์แรกๆทำแบบฝึกหัดทันไหมครับ like first week second week that you can do like the exercise in time or yeah
Like Google is your best friend. Like if I have to say, like for me, basically, wait, yeah, like your BFFs are two things: Google and Google Translate. Because you know, if you search on Google, a lot of the answers are in French. Like for some reason, I always found them in French, and I was just like, this is really like, how am I going to do it in French, right? Google Translate is your second best friend. Everything I just kept on doing Google Translate. But yeah, I have to say, so I mean, I think I did finish on time, but it's mainly because you need to คุยกับเพื่อนมากเลย like you cannot do this like 42 Adelaide ทำคนเดียวไม่ได้ you need to คุย you need to have friends, you have to literally if you don't talk to people, like there are so many people who did not, like after 2 weeks they quit, but they were the ones who never talked ไม่คุยกับใคร you know, like stay by themselves, try unless you're like เป็น professional coder you can ผ่านได้ที่ไม่เป็น professional coder เหมือนอารูไม่มี coding experience อย่างนี้ so you need to คุยกับทุกคน you have friends who are มี background coding will teach you how to do it, right? But if you ไม่คุยไม่มีคุณครูที่สอนใช่ไหม Google สอนได้ but you know to only little bit, right? ไม่มีใครที่เพื่อน you need to talk to them เพื่อนwill สอนอยู่แล้วก็ที่อยู่เรียนแล้ว you can สอน another person. That's the best. That's how I learned basically.
ค่ะขอบคุณค่ะคุณอารุเพราะว่ามันเหมือนกับที่คุณอารุแจ้งว่ายังไงก็เพื่อนก็สามารถช่วยในระหว่าง PC ได้มากที่สุด Google แล้วก็เพื่อนนะคะเพราะว่าเป็น peer to peer learning ใช่ yeah โอเค
We have someone raise his hand.
โอเคค่ะคุณพรีเลิศค่ะเชิญได้เลยค่ะ
Hi. I have one question. What do you actually get to learn after the piscine?
So once you pass the boot camp, right?
That's right.
So you start
Are we
to
still
learn.
stuck with C?
Yes, unfortunately, you're still stuck with C. So like once you're done with like the boot camp, so what we had to do is we had to create a library. So you know every single code that you have done so far. So like all of the C1, 2, 3, 4, till whatever level you get to, all of the codes you have to create a library. And that's actually very fun. Like it takes you a long time to do it because you'll be a little lazy. There's no more pressure. You have, how many days do we have? 50 days or 60 days? 55 days.
Depends on campus actually, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like you have a very long time to do it, but then creating a library is, so basically you start to learn, that's like the first exercise. After that, you choose and they're going to divide you up into different groups. So yeah, your teams are going to change. I'm very sad about that. Not with my friends anymore, but you meet new people and you still do C, but then you can specialize, I think, after the first 6 months, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So I want to go into AI, so that's what I'll be specializing in. So you can choose kind of, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it feels like we are trying to reinvent the wheel, but at the end we only make like triangular wheels. When do we get to make rockets?
See, I feel like boot camp is like, you know, like the literal the not even the roots. It's like not even 1% of what you're going to be doing in the precinct, but it makes you feel more confident because if you can survive the boot camp, the school is not stressful. You're going to feel so free. Like at least for me, like once the 4 weeks were over and I passed it, I went to the school and I was like, oh, I feel so free and relaxed. Like the pressure is gone. So, and you do use all of the knowledge you've learned in a bit of a different way though. You have to relearn it also.
When did you do the piscine, the boot camp?
So mine was the July one.
July. Okay, so
What does
also to answer Mr. I forgot Mr. Kwang. Yeah, right.
Yes.
She's freshly finished the boot camp actually, so only a few months only. So she doesn't have all the I guess she's not very advanced in the curriculum of 42 yet. And she's absolutely right about the first few projects.
Oh yeah, wasn't I supposed to share that? I'm sorry.
No, you were. Everything you say is fine. I think you know what you shouldn't share, which is basically the content of the exercise. Everything else is fine.
Oh yeah, I think GitHub is also your best friend. Yes.
Sorry?
GitHub?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying GitHub is also like your best friend.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
42, yeah.
Some answers they are wrong though.
Most they do it on purpose actually. Like even when we put our answers, we change the code because the purpose of 42 is like, you know, if you just copy paste, right? You're not going to learn anything. So all of them, actually not all of them, a lot of us, like we like to change the answer so that when you copy, you're like, oh, it's not working. But then you have to learn what is the, you know, what part have you made it wrong and fix it. And that's how you learn. You do it on purpose, actually. The answers are correct. You just have to find what's wrong for some of them.
You guys are so mean.
You're gonna do that too once you pass. The first thing you're gonna do is like, I'm gonna change the answers also.
You're gonna be spiteful. You say, if I had to suffer for 4 weeks, why not the next one?
Yeah.
And
that's how you feel like, okay, yeah, you know, I get a bit of my revenge. No, I'm kidding.
any other question? Any other person had a question?
ใครมีคำถามไหมคะโอเคค่ะอาเมลเชิญค่ะ
Were you stuck in Shell for a long time? When did you start seeing? Do you remember?
Oh yeah. I wasted a lot of time, like too much time on Shell, like, but I was lucky. So when we started, the thing was that I sit next to some people who are amazing coders, and I'm a very shy person, and I'm sure a lot of you also get it that you don't want to ask, you know, you the next person, you don't want to ask them again and again. And then like for me, I feel like on Shell 00, the first exercise, I'm pretty sure all of you have passed it, but like ride C, that took me, I'm embarrassed to say, but it took me 1 day to do it. Literally, like that first exercise was just 1 day, and I was like, how do you ride C? And I kept on writing C, and you know, obviously that's not how it works, but once people finished it, I was like, that's all you had to do. So, but I feel like because I struggled for that first one, like it helped me understand a bit more. But yeah, it took me 1 week to finish Shell 00. And then the second, after that, like I was like, okay, I'm wasting too much time. But we also went into lockdown after the second day. So for us, it was very messed up. Like, and none of us, because we didn't know we would go into lockdown, it was like surprise lockdown. So none of us had shared any details. So none of us were friends. So that's why it took me 1 week. But yeah, take your time. Like, I know some people who finished their Shell in the last week also, like 2 to 4 weeks. But they did the C also. Not only Shell, but they did C, yeah.
I see. I think we have question in the chat.
ใช่ค่ะเดี๋ยวขออนุญาตแป๊บนึงนะคะ Could you compare between during the piscine and after the piscine? Which part is more difficult?
Definitely during pre-scene. Like the boot camp is like the hardest part you'll do. Like I feel like the school, like I mean it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but you don't have pressure. Like you don't have the time pressure. Because for me, like I was doing my master's, I was working, and I was doing coding, and I did not manage my time well. Like for first week, like almost 10 hours I was spending on coding, and after that I would go work. Then I had to work on my thesis. So like that was So that was very stressful for me. Like that's why I would say like you need to spend a lot of time on coding, but the people who did very like who had mental peace were the ones like who spend like 8 hours coding every day, but like they did not cross it. Like for me, sometimes I spent 14 hours and I was like, that doesn't make sense yet.
Thank you. Mai.
Okay, next question. Do we need to do all the exercise so we can pass to be the candidates?
Yeah, basically, I think the question is because there is a mystery. They don't know what they need to do in order to be candidates,
Can I
but you
tell
can
how
share
many
your
I
own.
passed?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I only passed till CO6. CO6 or CO7, yeah. Because like so for the precinct before me, they all had to pass till like they all passed CO8, CO9, but they didn't have lockdown. But then mine had lockdown, so they were like, so we lost 1 week where none of us got anything done. So they were like, okay, we're gonna count as 3 weeks, not 4 weeks. So they just told us like indirectly finish till CO6 because you need to finish at least till CO6 in order to be able to understand how the school, like the first, what do you say? Yeah, the library one I told you, the creating library, the codes in it and everything, you have to finish at least till CO6. Or yeah, I mean, you still will struggle a bit if you don't finish till CO, like if you can't finish till CO10, but yeah, and the exams were very fun. Good luck for your exam tomorrow.
ขอบคุณค่ะ มีคำถามอื่นอีกไหมคะ ถามได้เลยนะคะ เปิดไมค์ก็ได้ค่ะ หรือใครจะถามสดก็ raise hand ได้เลยค่ะ มีไหมคะ มีไหมเอ่ย
Hello. When you pass piscine, you this all exam, right?
Sorry?
When you pass the piscine, you this all exam.
Are you asking if I passed all exams or if I did all exams? Not a very good, like, okay, so you have to do all 4 exams, but then I would say this, if you fail your first exam, don't worry, not everyone, but most people fail it. I failed it. I failed the second one also. But that's because like it was my own, I couldn't get in the exam. Like I didn't know
Yeah, we had actually almost half of the people who registered who failed to get into the exam for the first one.
I was so annoyed. Yeah, 42 does not teach you how to get into the exam. Like I couldn't get into the exam and I was just staring there like I was into the exam and then suddenly I was like, oh, I can't find the exam paper. They're like, you're not in the exam. Like, okay, thank you. I failed the exam. So yeah. But then if you look at the stats, most people fail the first and second exam. Try to pass the third exam. Like, can I tell? Like, or I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you can. Just don't say the exercise.
No, I mean like GitHub helps you pass the exam.
Just I don't know. I mean, yeah, sure, I guess.
Okay. I literally passed because GitHub, like, believe me, go search this thing called GitHub, and you'll be like, wow, my savior. But you have to be able to understand it also because you have to. I mean, why are you doing coding if you can't understand it? You know. But yeah, GitHub helps you pass exams. One hint. I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Just on this note of GitHub, just be careful.
The
you
codes
know,
are wrong for
yeah.
a lot of the answers.
And just ask yourself this question, why are you doing this? If there is no point basically in passing the piscine by cheating, because sooner or later you're gonna have to prove yourself to be able to code. So it's okay to look at other people code, but you have to understand it yourself.
Yeah. That's why I think it's okay, like, if you're going slow, if you think like, oh, I'm still on CO1, like I went very slow because I was like, I wanted to understand, because people who had like, done Ruby, Python, they finished very quickly. Like they were like, I think two, three exercises ahead of me, and I was like still on CO2 in my second week. So yeah, I think I was a CO2 or still on CO1. Like I will say CO2, work hard till that. After that, it's like CO3 and CO4 is like so fun to finish. It's super easy. And 5 and 6 also like super easy, like to an extent. But then yeah, for me, it took me the longest time to finish till CO2. Like I spent a lot of time because that's the basics. You can kind of skip shell if you want to. Not skip, but like if you in 1 week you're still on shell, go to C first, because it's different from shell. Like shell is more to understand the software, how it works, and C is more what you're gonna do in the school basically. And yeah, coding language.
Thank you. How many 42 cadets are there in Adelaide at the moment? So cadets, for the people who don't know, cadets are the people who basically are admitted into the school and are the full-time student.
I think so. We had 2 rounds. So for my round, I think we had very few people join. I think 40 or 50. But for the first round, because we went to lockdown, so half people dropped out. But for the first round, I think in total we have around 100 or a bit more. Yeah. Yeah, my group was like this small, and the other group came. It was like huge. We're like, you don't know any of them. Are you guys also going to be having a couple of rounds, or is this the first round?
This is the first round.
You guys are setting the standard for everyone.
Yeah, they are laboratory rats, basically. No, I'm
that's
kidding.
stressful, yeah.
I'm kidding, but yeah, the first batch of pisciners, and we plan to have 2 more rounds if everything goes well.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Any other question?
Hello, I'm Paul from Pisciner. For now, I will ask you and put Amel too that for now we communication by Discord. As you know, I would ask you how if in the piscine, how about our Discord now, because we share a lot of knowledge and information, and you too from Australia, how about 42 students communicate and during the piscine and after the piscine 1-2. If there are there some two collaboration tool out there? Thank you. That's it.
We actually use Discord mainly. So like Discord, what do we do? Let me see. So
Yes.
we all created a shared Google Doc. So basically when we started, like we all were struggling, like not the professional coders, but like the other ones, like who had zero coding. So what we did is like we had a shared Google Doc where almost everyone joined together in one Google Doc, and for every exercise, once someone understood the code, they would put explanation down for it. And then, so basically, you can see the explanation and then you teach the next person. Because for us, what we found is like, even on Discord, like, you can go in the groups, right? So this thing, if you were to, oh, they don't have this anymore. Oh, they closed it. Okay. But like they have the meeting rooms you have on Discord.
Yes.
Use that a lot. Like, you go there, you open up your code, and then before you do the actual evaluation, like you do it to your friend, where you explain step by step. So basically that's what we did, like because we were all in lockdown and we had to still talk. So Discord, we went to meeting room, everyone had the video on. We would all go on our laptops and share screen, teach each other. We did that 6 hours daily. It was fun. So you just leave and join whenever you want to, but yeah, share Google Doc, Discord. And some people put theirs on GitHub, like the code, but I feel like but you don't learn from GitHub. It's better if you สอน เพื่อน and then เพื่อนต่อสอนเอง
that mean we can if the after the piscine we can go to meet other student and in the real person and we can still use Discord to learning together after that too.
We're still using Discord anytime we want to chat
yes.
So once you join the pre-scene, they've got a separate Discord that they'll pull you into. And then again, you can contact, and you've added them as your friends on Discord, I'm sure. So chat off with them.
Yes, I would like meet all of you too in person too. Thank you very much. ขอบคุณนะครับ ขอบคุณครับ
I have a question. Miss Aru, you had a separate Discord for the piscine than after the school?
Yeah, so we had a precinct for each of our groups. And then once we joined the school, they pull us into a different one. And I think they deleted our old one because I can't find that anymore.
Okay.
Discord เก่าจะเป็นยังไงครับ How about old piscine old Discord piscine How about the standard of old Discord current Discord piscine How about when the piscine end คุณอาเมล
It's a good question. I originally
We still keep this Discord for everyone.
Yeah,
yes.
I wanted to make a new one for the main school, but I feel like we our current Discord is very good. I really like it. I feel like we have good knowledge sharing and everything. So maybe I will try to keep it and make a new one for the next piscine, or make different permission and not allow the new pisciner to see the old channel or something like this. But we will have to clean it a little bit anyway. We have maybe to delete a little bit some channel, but we'll try to keep the group together. I think it's good if we can keep contact with each other. So we will discuss it. It's a good question. I'm open to suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you. That's perfect. Thank you.
Oh, also LinkedIn. I forgot about that. We
LinkedIn.
Also, yeah, all of us connected with each other on LinkedIn, just so it helps you grow your, network. And because everyone's working, at least for our placing, a lot of people working, some were studying. So if you're friends, we all add on LinkedIn, and then it helps you grow your network also. And some people who had no friends on LinkedIn, they got more connections too. Another way to stay in touch professionally.
I see.
Okay, we have two people raise hands. คุณพ่วงหรือเปล่าคะขออภัยถ้าออกเสียงผิดนะคะเดี๋ยวเชิญก่อนค่ะคุณโอเคค่ะ ได้ยินค่ะถามได้เลยค่ะ
It's possible that we will class if we are slower than our friends, and so we can do so what I can do to go faster. Thank you.
I mean, how slow would you say? Are you still on shell or?
Yeah, yes.
I mean, I think in your second week you should start your C already, because I don't know how your precinct goes, but my precinct, shell and C were separated. So shell was to understand how a net works and how to understand the basics, but C was the main coding. If you go to C, you should start C as soon as you can. Are you talking to your friends? Because I feel for me, like a lot of people, like there were people, like I knew this girl who passed somehow, like no, sorry, not somehow, but like barely passed, but I think she was still on her C1 in her third week, but that's because may quick up Kai, like just stayed by herself and tried by herself, even though she spent like 6 hours every day. But like you, I mean, if you don't have code experience, it's very hard. You're going to progress. You're gonna, finish if you're not talking. So since you're all in lockdown right now, Discord groups, like especially if you're ahead, you should be trying to teach the people, who are behind you. Like, our slogan, like no swimmer gets left behind. Like you don't want to join a school with only 5 people, right? And then if you teach the person who is behind you, even you understand the code a bit better. But then yeah, try to, like if you think you're too behind, I think if you talk to Armel or like any of the other of your, I don't know what word you guys use for
Staff.
for the staff, yeah. So like if you talk to the staff, because I know some people like who they talk to the staff because even in third week they were starting CO1, which is very slow. The staff help, pair them up with some of the people who were faster. And that way the faster people would tell them, like some of the faster people just gave the code, which I don't think, like try to find someone else then if they do that because some people don't want to teach and that's fine. But most of the people want to teach because that's how you learn also. Or maybe, yeah.
We actually, I think in this regard, we have a very, I don't know the adjective, but we have a very good vibe. People are teaching each other a lot and helping each other a lot. And some of them met in cafe in real life to help the newcomers. I mean, the people with no background in coding to help each other. And I feel, I don't know because I'm not the pisciner, so I don't have all the insider knowledge. But I feel like if you really are looking for help, you can get help. And I think so. In Discord, people are helping each other a lot. So my personal answer to you as staff would be to try to ask on Discord. Don't be shy to ask in public channel. Usually people try to answer you and help you. And we also have people sharing their screen almost all day, all night. So I'm sure they can also help you.
And most probably there'll be 10 other people who are also having the same problem as you.
Yeah.
Like that's what I found. Or you can also, we did this also, we had classes. So for example, if someone finished CO1, then that person would, in the evening, like once they've passed it, they would hold classes where they would explain all of the exercises and everyone who is struggling. So there was this guy who, I think he was in CO3 while all of us were still stuck on CO1, the third exercise or something. So he came back and we asked him, can you give us a class? And then he found 2 other people who had also passed it. So all 3 of them, they gave a class where they explained all of the exercises and they shared the code. Like, I mean, code sharing happens, but like they share the code, but at the same time, you understood, like they went step by step, like explaining each of the codes. So that actually really helped us. Like for us, I think that's when we sped up because we all were very slow, like because our first week was lost. So we all were like way behind, except for the few good coders. So because they used to have like daily classes, so maybe you can have like CO1 classes for 2 days, CO2 for 2 days, if you all are, yeah, because I'm pretty sure some people have finished it. That would help. That did help me at least.
Thank you. Mr. Kwang, you have a question again?
Yes, more question about the language taught after the piscine. What languages are available for us to learn? Languages, frameworks?
So I think initially for the first 6 months, everyone learned still C++ or C.
You have modules in C++, but apart from that, it's mainly C and also some networking exercise, which are somewhat related to shell. So yeah.
So you basically do that for the first 6 months, but after that, you can specialize in any language. you want to. That's up to you. So if you want, you can do it with your friends or yeah, our precinct just started last month, so we haven't gotten there yet. But they told us that like once you finish this, once you get into school, they give you this map, which like so we are at the middle right now, and you start to like go your own path in it, and then yeah, you've got a lot of exams again. But yeah, so once you finish the C portion that everyone has to cover, you can choose to specialize in a different language. Because C is like the basics of all languages, so they want you to have the basics to be a strong coder.
So does that mean after C, I can use any language I want for any project?
To an extent.
To an extent, yeah.
To an extent.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah. Thank you.
Depends on the project, depends on what you're doing. But yeah, basically, some project will have this headline, you can use whatever language you want. Some of them will have more strict guidelines on what language you have to use. And also, I take this opportunity to share this knowledge about the school, is what you are experiencing right now is called the C piscine. It's not just the piscine, it's a C piscine. And during your curriculum in 42, we have a bunch of other piscine. We have the PHP piscine, the Python Django piscine, and a few other more. So it's just a good way to learn a new language is to do a piscine, like to have intense set of exercise every day. But I mean, it's not as horrible as the C piscine. Don't worry.
No, you admit it's horrible. We have that on record. Thank you.
Less intense, let's say. It's just 2 weeks instead of 1 month for the next piscines. Yeah.
I am look forward to PHP and PHP piscine too, and other language. If are there any in Thailand? Schedule for now. Can you share the new? If it come in next year, like PHP piscine or Python piscine, something like that.
In 2022, yeah, hopefully, yeah. It's just right now, one thing at a time. Like first piscine, second piscine.
Okay.
นี่แค่นี้ยังไม่พออีกเหรอพี่เปายังจะมีพิเศษอะไร
อ้าวคุณกวางคุณอย่าไปไอ้นั่นนี่สายโมบายนี่คุณบอกผมอ่ะ คุณกวาง need to go to
Data
Swift
science.
data science and
I'm actually have been written Python for a year to automate my stuff. So yeah, I would like to go back to Python as soon as possible.
Can we alive in this PC today?
Sure. I think
you just have to don't ask me, ask the Moulinette if she allow. But I think you have
Is
no
that
choice.
a challenge? I think I know some ways to integrate the Python into C.
Anyway, any other question for Miss Aru? Well, if we have no more question, Aru, would you be able to share some personal, like some advice, basically, for the people who are in the piscine, like some stuff that helps you keep going during the piscine, and that you would like to share to our fellow pisciners?
Like for us, because you have to do from lockdown, so it's a bit different. But since we were able to go to school also, so we had a rule where you had to sit next to a different person every single time you go. So if you went to lunch and you came back, you sit at a different place with a different person and you talk to that different, because you have to talk. Like, so what that is, like, you end up talking to every single person in the whole precinct. So like in my precinct, like, yeah, I had talked to almost every single person except for one person. Not sure how, missed him, but yeah, everyone except for that one person I talked to. So maybe you guys can, hold something like that, because I mean, I know, like, tech culture is a bit too shy, a little bit. You wouldn't want to go up and talk to someone, or especially on Discord. I understand it's a bit awkward. So yeah, I'm not sure if you guys have like a bit of ice-breaking activities that you can organize. Like for us, we used to do online gaming while we were in lockdown together. That brought everyone closer together online. We had movie nights, those kind of stuff. So like, you basically want, I think for 42, it's very stressful. But if you have friends, it gets easier. If you have friends and if you have people that you get along with, and at the same time, if you know everyone in the pre-scene, you never know what if they end up being, getting hired by a big company and they'll bring you with you, networking. But yeah, so try to talk to everyone. Yeah, learn French. For me, I feel like I can speak basic French now because of all of the Google translating I did to understand all my codes. Like that was fun. What else? Well, yeah, talk to the staff. Like if you're struggling, like make sure they know. So for us, like every time you were struggling, like we just go to the staff and there's a cry room, people would be crying in there. I mean, you're at home, but like if it gets too stressful, like I'm pretty sure if you tell Armel like, hey, it's getting too hard, he's gonna give you a sly hint, maybe, if he's feeling nice. Yeah. But there's no harm in asking, like, because we all want you to pass. We want everyone to be a coder. Like Poetry is about learning. And especially if you're feel like you're a bit behind, talk to the staff and talk to people who are ahead of you. Be like, can you hold me a class? Can you hold a class and teach us? Because pretty sure half of the people must be still struggling. At least for ours, we were like, that's how the ratio was.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's good advice. And I think don't be tricked into thinking that everyone is ahead of you, because usually the more vocal people are the people who are comfortable in coding, and that's probably the people who also talk the most on Discord. But actually, I think a lot of people are still struggling, and they just maybe decide to stay silent because they don't dare asking. But feel free to ask really. And either me or either other PCner will try to do our best to help. But that's good advice. Thank you. So
did I forget something? So I was like, I'll make a list of advice. What was the advice I want to share that I wanted to know when I started?
Yeah, something like this.
Oh yeah, don't copy any of the codes. Like, I know I hated MuleNet also because he just keeps on rejecting every single code you put in. You try to submit like at least 10 times, and then you have to evaluate people to get the code back. But try to not copy the code, no matter how behind you are, because I know people like who failed all of the exams. They just passed like the last one was like bare minimum, and they didn't even finish much of the C exercises. But they put a lot of effort in. Like they showed that they were trying to learn, not just copying. Like, I mean, if you copy and you get it, like you're not going to be able to code if you work in a company, right? Because you copied someone else. So it's no use if you do pass that way. So try to understand, and it doesn't matter if you're slow. Like I was a very slow learning, but I still finished till CO6 because CO2 is the hardest, and then it gets a little easy. I feel like that's how you create it, right? Like after CO2, you make it a little easy, and then hard again. Like, so it goes like this. So they try to make you feel motivated, and then bring you down. Like be like it's hard again, and then easy again. So yeah, try to have classes. That's very helpful, and make it a goal. Talk to at least 5 people tonight.
Thank you. Well, I think we can all thank Miss Aru for taking her time to join with us today and to share her experience. Thank you very much, Aru. Kapun Kap.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, you're welcome anytime in 42 Bangkok, and I hope we have the chance to meet you at one point.
Definitely. If the lockdown's over and the borders open up, mistype it so much.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Okay, thank you, Aru. Have a good time. Have a good evening in Australia already. And well, good luck for your job because I believe you're working full time now on top of doing 42. So that must be hard. Good job. Good luck with that. Well, it was very nice to meet you. Thank you.
Really nice talking to you too. Good luck for your exam tomorrow. Hope you all, yeah, hope what I said was helpful today.
ช่วยได้เยอะเลยค่ะขอบคุณมากนะคะ Thank you for coming and joining us today เดี๋ยวเราจะมี record แล้วก็ลง YouTube เดี๋ยวจะไปแชร์ใน Discord ให้นะคะสำหรับวันนี้คนที่ไม่ได้มาเข้าช่วงเซสชันที่เราพูดคุยกันวันนี้ค่ะขอบคุณมากค่ะขอบคุณทุกคนค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ